everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and today for Medicinal Friday, we are making some tinctures. And we're also talking about something that makes me personally cringe every time I see somebody make a tincture with it on a YouTube video. Alright guys, so before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and then also head over to Instagram and follow Mighty Crop because we are doing a 10K giveaway and you can win a Mighty Crop system, a seed organizer, and a $50 gift card to be able to expand or start your small space garden. Now, we are going to be talking tinctures and I absolutely love tinctures. As you can see, these are some of my favorite here. I have a lemon balm one that I'm almost out of. I have a valerian root one. I have a lion's mane one, and I have a licorice root one. Now, I have purchased all of these tinctures, and I'm going to be making all of my own. I do have a couple that I have brewing because a while I did not have a bunch of my own herbs. So I haven't made my own tincture in about a couple of months. But I got some organic lemon balm and I am going to make some tincture out of it. Now, all the lemon balm in my garden I have been using for tea. So that's why I don't have this much dried in order to make my own tinctures. So if you guys are wondering that. Now, one of the things we're going to talk about that I see in a lot of YouTube videos is that everybody says tinctures are so easy to make. And yes, they are insanely simple to make. But what they do is they say, you just take some herbs, you put them in a jar, and then you grab a cheap vodka and you pour it on top of it and let it sit. Now, that is exactly how you make tincture, except for I'm gonna tell you why you should never, ever, 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 ever reach for a cheap vodka. If you want to follow step-by-steps on how to make tinctures, salves, all different types of everything, Rosemary Gladstar has a great book called Medicinal Herbs for Beginners, and I will link that one down below. I got that one on Amazon. Now, when it comes to tinctures, there are two major parts. Now, well, you can use a couple different things. One, when you make a tincture, you don't have to use alcohol. You can also use glycerin and you can also use vinegar. Now, I always use vodka for two reasons. One, it has less of a flavor, and two, it also lasts for basically indefinitely. Like you can have your tincture on the shelf for like ever, versus if you use vinegar or glycerin, you can only have so much of a shelf life on it. So, but when it comes to picking your vodka, I hear all these people say, just grab your cheapest vodka, and I literally cringe because even if you do not drink alcohol, which we do in this household, as you guys know, our Instagram is Team Benson Wines because we make wine. You want to learn about the products that you're using, because if you are spending extra money on getting something that's organically grown and organic certified and USD grade and all that, or growing it yourself, or you're organically growing it and you're putting blood, sweat, and tears into making sure it's perfect, why would you grab a vodka that then is not perfect and full of impurities? So we are going to talk vodka today. And I have two that I use and I recommend. I have Pinnacle vodka and I also have PA vodka. Now, when it comes to picking a vodka, you want to make sure that you have one that is filtered. What that means is that after they have gone through the distillation process and making the vodka, then they run it through some form of a filter. And there's different ways you can run it through a filter. I think PA vodka and Pinnacle are both ran through a limestone, which is a natural filter. If you guys have like spring water or something like that, spring water flows off of a mountain through limestone, and that's what makes it taste all beautiful and sparkly. And there are also things like charcoal. I try not to get things that are made with charcoal filters, just because, you know, if you get poisoned, the first thing you should do is grind up charcoal with some water and drink it because it induces vomiting. So I try to stay away from that. So you want to make sure that you have one that has been filtered no less than, my personal opinion, You could do less, but that's your personal opinion and all you. But I don't do anything less than 5 times. Both of these have been filtered 5 times. There are vodkas that have been filtered 10 times, 11 times, and so on and so on. And the more filtrations that happen on a vodka, the cleaner it is, meaning the more impurities are taken out of that vodka. So when I say you don't want to use a cheap vodka, that means you don't want to be making your tincture, what's going to be your medicine, what's going to be something you give to your family, and for some of you guys giving to your children, with something that is full of impurities, because that's going to cause increase in headaches, that's going to cause stomach issues, it's going to cause damage within your organs and your kidneys and livers, which have to filter out all of those impurities. So that is something you 100% do not want. If you guys don't know, I'm pretty passionate about this because I've seen a lot of videos where people are like, grab that bottom shelf vodka, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be really bad. Oh, don't give that to your family. It's bad. So now let's talk proof. Now, when you're picking a vodka to do your tincture, you also don't want to pick one that is less than 80 proof. And what that means, when you have the proof, you divide that number in half. So if you have 80 proof, it's going to be 40% alcohol and 60% water. If you have something that is 100 proof, it's going to be 50% alcohol and then 50% water. Now, this also comes to the idea that people think, oh, that's perfect. Let's use things like, and I didn't want to say any names about companies, but I see a lot of people grab for it, and it is Everclear. Everclear is not filtered the way that it should be, and Everclear is at least 100 proof. Meaning sometimes Everclear is like 151 proof, like depending on its process. Now, but they label it as 100 proof. Some of them I think are labeled as a little bit more. Now, they even have a manufacturer's warning that says it's not meant to drink straight shots of. And when you are making a tincture, something like this, you are putting herbs and alcohol, which is basically a straight shot. So you don't want to be reaching for that once again if the manufacturer has told you not to drink a straight shot of that, to dilute it in something. And when you have a bunch of tinctures and you have like family member in pain, or you're in pain, or a kid screaming, you just want to grab the tincture, squeeze it in their mouth, and alleviate whatever's going on with them. You don't want to think, okay, which one of these is made with Everclear? Let me dilute it in at least 8 ounces of water, and then they have to drink that entire 8 ounces of water to make sure they get the medication that they need, and I'm not ruining their kidneys and or liver. So that's why these things are so important to not use a cheap vodka. So now let's make it. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a mason jar with just a lid and a funnel. And I am going to fill this. Now I want to make a lot of lemon balm tincture because I am completely out. And even the one that I showed you guys, I was completely out of that one. I'm gonna grab a chopstick because it is not going through the filter easily and I don't wanna make a mess. Okay. So that might have been a little dramatic, guys, I will admit, but I want to just really emphasize to you guys that when you're making medicine, you have to look at all of your ingredients, because if you're making it and you're using poor ingredients, or you're using ingredients that aren't made correctly, or not even not made correctly, but not made to the purest of what you would want them to be, then what's the difference between getting something that's chemically made? So you want to make something that is going to be as healthy as possible for you and is going to get the job done, meaning healing your body and keeping you nice and healthy and safe. Alright guys, so I like my lemon balm tincture to be pretty strong, so I filled it all the way up 3/4 of the jar. If you don't want to make it really strong, or if things make you tired easily, like say you take like a drink like a tea, and like 1 tea bag will like make you sleepy, then I would only fill it half the way. But we have a lot of anxiety in this house and insomnia, and we work crazy hours, so I like for it to be a little bit strong. So now after I do that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my vodka and I'm just going to pour it over top, and I'm going to completely cover the herbs. And so I'm gonna fill this a little bit like there. Now I don't want to fill it all the way to the top because the herbs are going to expand over time. Now you can have these as fresh herbs and do it with fresh herbs, but I just like to do it with dry herbs, and we only have enough lemon balm tincture outside to use for like fresh lemon balm, so like fresh teas, and I prefer to have a tea with fresh leaves versus dried leaves. So now, as you can see, it's starting to do its little thing and hydrate all of the leaves. I'm just going to put this in a sunny location. I would say put it in a sunny windowsill. I do not have a sunny windowsill. The most closest thing I have in my house to something sunny is going to be our big acacia door that I'm sitting right next to. So this, I will actually make a couple of different tinctures and I will decorate them nicely on my dining room table so that then it looks pretty while I'm doing it. So then the last thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and label it, because you want this to sit for 4 to 6 weeks. And all you're going to do is every day just go and swish it. Okay, so once a day, just go and swish it, and then you're good. So after this has set for 4 to 6 weeks, then you're going to taste it and see if it's the way that you want it. So if it's strong enough, or if it's not strong enough, let it sit for longer. If you don't taste the lemon balm, let it sit longer. Then all you're going to do is you're going to strain it with a cheesecloth or a strainer. And I always pick little glass bottles, droppers like this, that are dark. Normally what I do too is I'll have a big darker jar like this where I put all of my tinctures in, and then when these little ones run out, so I don't have a million of these little ones all over the place of the same thing, then I just refill the little ones with this. But 2020 was crazy, so we went through a lot of lemon balm. But I hope that this gives you guys a recipe to how to make your tinctures and get your medicine cabinets prepared early. Right now is a great time to do it because things are going to be getting full blossom in your gardens, or they're full blossom in other people's gardens, to where then you can purchase them from Etsy, you can purchase them from Amazon, any of those things like that. I got these big bag of herbs from Amazon. I will link it down below so that you guys know the company that I use. It is organically grown, so it doesn't have a lot of those impurities. And then remember, don't use cheap vodka. So if you got nothing out of this video, get something that's at least 5 times filtered so that you're not adding on to the problem. All right, guys. Well, I hope that this video helped. Until next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye, guys.